Thresh next. No reason why that could be. But it seems like... The Prophet! It's not like NIP
I'm not
did this
gonna
last
get, that's
game.
literally what they banned last game.
That was the joke! That was the joke!
That.
So Xayah, very similar. So if NIP and Fnatic are sticking to what they did before, it'll be a LeBlanc ban from the side of Ninjas and Pyjamas, and it will be a Lucian ban from the side of Fnatic.
We'll see. Red side could mix the little things up. Ninjas and Pyjamas, maybe they can look to get a powerful first pick here. But what are they going to give up for it?
Who knows?
Who knows?
They're really taking that time with the final ban.
It's interesting, too, because I really want to see, now with Galio banned off the board, I want to see something different from NIP. I don't want to see...
Well, there will definitely be something different.
Oh, well, yes, of course, there's going to be at least one different champion. Thank you, Vedius. And at least two now, because Elise has been banned as well. And my question is, where is the jungle tier list going to take us? Elise and Zach both banned. We got Elise Sin, a Graves. Maybe someone will finally play Sejuani.
Varus, I feel, rises in priority. Not the fun pick, but in terms of the power to all in, he just offers so much. This would be an interesting first lock.
All right. Wow.
So you can flex it. Remember that Tahm Kench can go into the top lane as well as support. So I'm just keeping my eyes up for the possibility. In the event the Fnatic choose to take a tank top lane, you could have the Tahm Kench matchup against it, but I'm expecting it more likely to be down in that support role, especially into these more melee-style playmaking champions that Jesus does like to bring out.
Have to see where it's going to go, what Ninjas and Pyjamas have up their sleeve. We wanted different picks, we're already getting them, but the Twitch will remain the same on the side of Fnatic. Jungle priority has not been a thing with Elise and Zach off the board. Seems like neither team feels particularly pressured to go for anything early on here.
You would expect an Elise Sin to come out for Broxah right now. Give him a powerful jungler, something that he's very comfortable on. He made a bit of a name for himself. Or just go back to a protect this kind of composition with the Ivern, still very strong in the current meta. If you want Ninjas and Pyjamas, Graves still does perfectly fine into this. You could also go for something like an Olaf, which we did see come out during MSI as well. Just a sort of farming, damage-dealing jungler that has a decent spike in the mid-game.
Well, Shook going to pick up that Lee Sin. Now, if there's one champion we know Shook can play, it is going to be that Lee Sin. We've seen some great moments from this guy in his past on Vitality, and even before that as well. But going up against the Ivern may be a little bit difficult. Broxah may not have the widest champion pool from what we've seen, but he's definitely really good at the Lee Sin, the Elise, and the Ivern. So should know this matchup quite well. And Vedius said the Varus would see some priority, and there it is. First AD carry, or second AD carry to be selected in response to the Twitch.
Now, Fnatic could just look to early rotate something like a Syndra again, get caps on something that he's comfortable on. He could also go for the Orianna, and then they can just ban away the other mid laners that could be a big threat to guarantee him a successful mid lane matchup.
Looks like it will be the Syndra, though. 5 seconds left, taking their time to consider this one. Get the Syndra can now ban out any unfavorable matchups if they so choose, but maybe the hesitation coming from the uncertainty of where the Tahm Kench will go. Most likely a support pick from what we have seen around the world, but never quite sure with new teams and new players. What are their pocket picks? What can they bring out here?
Yeah, so Fnatic, they want to get themselves a support fairly early on. I'd be surprised if Ninjas and Pyjamas look to ban away supports, because I feel like if they are going to ban anything, it'll be something like a Karma ban and maybe a Lulu ban, so that you take away the range supports and you force Jez's onto a melee support so that the Tahm Kench can have a lot more value down in the bottom lane.
Interesting, though, it is going to be the Fizz banned away first. Karma on the opposite side, as you were saying about the bottom side matchup. Now, will the trend continue for Ninjas and Pyjamas? So far, it does.
Ari Kassadin maybe for the side of Fnatic.
Would show some research into the picks there. Echo, as predicted, will they ban another range support out? Try to make sure that Jesus cannot get a range advantage for the bottom side matchup.
I think Lulu would make a lot of sense, largely because it synergizes so nicely with the Ivern as well. It'll do well into the Tahm Kench matchup. And sure, you still have the Tahm Kench for the Syndra, but Tahm Kench can't eat himself. So the Syndra can just nuke him down, and then you still have a squishy AD carry available to target. But interesting that they've actually decided to ban away a top laner suggests to me that they might have a tank in mind to make sure that Soaz can't get that counter pick.
Now Fnatic really has to take their time here. They do get the luxury of the last pick, so they will opt to first lock in that support. Braum to back up the Twitch, trying to make sure that he can stay happy and healthy as he dishes out the damage from the back lines. NIP have to show everything here. We will know if it's a flex pick. We will know where everything is going to go. But we have to assume right now that it is going to be the Tahm Kench support, and it looks like it will be the Jarvan in the top lane, as well as Taliyah in the mid for Nagne. So big shift here on the side of Ninjas and Pyjamas.
Now, over in the LCK, Taliyah is a very popular pick. Korean mid laners absolutely love her. She's so good at playing with the team due to her ability to roam around the map and the amount of CC and crowd control, or rather zone control, that she can provide in these team fights. They can be very difficult to dodge away from things like the knockup and the amount of burst damage that she can throw out. But she's not really the sort of champion that will solo carry a game for you. She's not that playmaker. She really does rely on the success of the rest of her teammates.
We'll have to see. Profit now with an aggressive matchup on the top side. They're taking the Jarvan away from Fnatic. And that means no more damage threats in the top lane for Fnatic, putting Soaz back on that age-old tank, and it means protecting Reckless and protecting Caps, the two damage threat composition coming in for Fnatic.
So you will see Fnatic very much playing around the two superstars, could you call them that? I don't know. A big debate.
I mean, Soaz kind of destroyed Profit last game.
That's
so
very
I think,
fair. He can qualify too. But in any case, the focus is going to be on both Caps and Reckless, as you were saying. And if you are NIP, you want to try and shut these lanes down. You don't want them to be snowballing. Preferably, if you could lock Reckless down, that would be the best case scenario. But since the resurgence of Fnatic, I cannot think of a time outside of G2 where Reckless has really been put into an unfavorable situation. So if Ninjas in Pyjamas are capable of doing it, they will be in an elite tier of teams that have been able to.
They're going to want to fight in the bottom lane. They got two melee supports. Things are going to be a little bit bloodier this time around. The concussive blows make it quite difficult deal with that Braum pick. But here you are, ladies and gentlemen. Fnatic fans will be for sure using the hashtag FNCWin. So if you are a new fan of NIP, now is the time. Hashtag NIPWin. Battle back for that fan vote. Remember to tweet at LL Esports with your big plays. Maybe we'll see a few of them this game.
Will Reckless get another triple kill? Add that to the bingo card.
We have the classic balance at a League of Legends esports events. Fnatic fans and always a couple TSM fans, no matter where you go. There you go. Thanks, friends.
You just had to bait them, didn't you? You just had to.
All right, folks, it's game 2. It is do or die for NIP. And I have started something horrible. I am so sorry.
Okay, so slightly different starting item for Hiku. Decided to go for the Doran's Blade rather than the Doran's Shield. Question marks, given that Doran's Shield is actually super effective against the passive poison against Twitch, because it will, again, damage over time abilities. They re-tick the passive, so he gets a bit of added regeneration, which mitigates some of that early poison damage.
And for now, Fnatic are grouping up, but you're very good to point out that what could be an early laning discrepancy. Twitch's poison stack's very bad against the Doran's Shield, as you said. 2 health regen per second against something that's only going to do 1 damage per second. 2 damage per second at 2 stacks. You have to have at least 3 stacks before you're actually going to do anything with that Twitch passive.
So he still does damage with his poison, is the point that we're trying to make. Because he has decided to go for the Doran's Blade. Does mean that you have more, you have to be willing to try and trade more actively. You want to be utilizing the additional AD that you have. And if you are playing a Tahm Kench into a Braum, I've heard many different sides. Some people believe that Tahm Kench does well into the Braum. Others believe that Braum is much better at handling the Tahm Kench. Regardless, I think that the key takeaway is the fact that Braum is not commonly known as an all-in champion, and with the bottom lane of NIP, they have a lot of push and a lot of peel with the bottom lane that they do have.
Well, no surprise to see the fan vote in favor of Fnatic. Not only do they have a crushing game 1, but new organization in the LCS, NIP, been gone for 3 seasons. So maybe we have the old school fans back to show the support. But for now, definitely a Fnatic favored matchup. Shook going to get the quick level 2. Broxah going to do what looks to be a standard Ivern clear for now, but we'll have to see where he wants to go. And Shook was incredibly aggressive last game. Will the trend continue?
Well, yes. Yes, it will. He's looking for a level 2 invade, but he's not going to be able to get it. Or he's going for a level 2 gank mid.
Caps. There's the fancy footwork, move forward. Waiting for the flash to come out. Caps taking a lot of damage. Flash forward for Shook. A little bit of misstep there, but Cap's going to make it out, and it is the trade for flashes, so still a benefit over to the side of NIP.
I'm surprised that Shook just wouldn't wait for Caps to flash, because he was guaranteed to do it. If he stuck around, he was going to take a full Q 5 hit from the Taliyah in the middle lane, and you could have just landed your Q after he flashed. But either way, you end up trading, so it's not all that bad for Caps. But it will mean that he can't be as aggressive as he would like to in the middle lane.
And I like this coming in from the NIP bottom lane. Get a little bit of vision down, use that lane priority. to make sure you know exactly where the Ivern is going to be.
And deny the blasting cone as well. We've seen a lot more recently teams trying to clear it out as fast as they can so there is no sneaky over-the-wall kind of gank. And it will give NIP the confidence to continue their push. Now, this isn't quite as oppressive as an Ashe Karma lane, but you'd still expect them to be looking to constantly try and harass, to try and force Reckless and Jez's back to put them in a CS deficit.
And Shook kind of set up to just continue camping the mid lane if he so chooses, but Caps wave perfectly balanced on the outside of that tower, and Nagne may just have to settle for pushing this one in before looking for that first back. CS lead now. Caps will do his best to make it up under the turret, and Broxa is spotted out by the ward placed earlier, so no real kill pressure here on the bottom side. But Shook and Nagne, they got some plans of their own.
Wow. Going for a level 4 gank top lane. There is a minion wave. They're going for it.
Keep your eyes on Soaz. Where is he going to go? Spirit's Refuge not coming out yet. Tanta's coming in onto Shook. He's going to try to run for his life, but the damage is going in. Tower aggro reset beautifully, though, and now Soaz is in trouble, but there's so many low health bars. Who's going to tank it for the team? Nagne not going to get the aggro. Soaz trying to bring it back, pulls the sword back in, but First Blood going to drop for NIP. Nice tower dive in the end.
But it took so much time. Brox has been able to make his way down to the bottom half of the map. He's going to be able to steal some of these jungle camps away from Shook and deny him that valuable experience. Meanwhile, Caps has just been constantly pushing in this middle lane, and look at the advantages that he has gained himself. So Fnatic, they're quick to respond, but NIP, they still get that early kill onto Soaz, taking away his flash, taking away his TP, and delaying that level 6 spike that he can use with his ulti.
And liking that we're seeing these early Taliyah roams, and once again, NIP looking for the early aggressive plays.
So you can see that Prophet, he's the first to get the tower aggro, which is a bit of a shame because then they don't have the flag and drag knockup to guarantee the damage, which allows Soaz to move side to side. Now you need to watch the flash here from Soaz because he's just trying to dodge away. Oh, that's right, that happened earlier on, but his primary goal was to dodge away from the knockup from Taliyah, which he was able to dodge away from. But unfortunately for him, the Ivern was at the bottom half of the map. He had no support coming, and being collapsed from either side, that resulted in him going down.
And we see a mix-up here in the top lane. So I was playing Jarvan last game. Now, stuck with the Shen here, not quite as aggressive, but you can see why NIP may want to shut this man down in the early game. May look to camp him out on an absolute tear last game, doing 20% of the team's damage as a Jarvan. But now Broxa has to be careful. Shook moving forward, dodges out. Nice clean play on the dodge of Baru Caller. Cap's still going to try to find the disengage. Broxa doing his best to use the creeps to dodge it out. Sonic Wave, not going to be able for Shook, but he may just have to settle. Clearing up a few of these Raptors. A little bit of an experience benefit in his favor.
Caps, very quick to land that stun to allow Shook, or to prevent Shook rather, from continuing the chase onto his jungler. Broxa, though, he still is able to get away his camps. That's the annoying thing about Ivern. But Shook is saying, no, you will not keep all of your camps.
I mean, the issue is that it takes so long to kill golems. And you're going to take damage from the golems.
Broxa's just going to look you like, in the amount of time it takes you to kill these, my passive will be ready.
And I'm going to get half the gold anyway.
Sucks to be you. Anyway, Caps will hit that level 6 mark first. Notice that Nagne has decided to go for the cleanse. Interestingly, Caps has decided to go for the cleanse as well. I would imagine that's largely due to Hikyu's ulti, but I'm a little bit surprised he would choose to run that because you can't cleanse a knockup as Prophet is on his way mid. Remember, still no flash in the middle lane, but NIP, they miss him. They don't quite find the mark that they want.
Yeah, and the ward spotting him out on his roam down means Cap knows exactly where he needs to be, but he's roaming bottom lane and hasn't quite seen the respect from the side of NIP quite yet. Reckless stealthing up. This should be a sign for NIP. They're going to take it as a warning and back off. Hikyu not sure where he wants to be. Reckless looking to bait the fight. Hikyu is in trouble. Reckless is right behind, throws down the poison. There's nowhere for Hikyu to go. Going down a bit of damage. Spraddle is stunned up, can't save himself. You said it earlier, Vedius. Nowhere for the Kench to go. That's going to be a kill back for Fnatic.
It was a good flash from Spraddle to be able to dodge out from the stun of Caps, but he could not dodge the stun from Jez's passive. That will result in a kill going in the favor of Fnatic, but a sheer lack of respect from Hikyu and Spraddle as Caps was missing from the mid lane for such a long time.
Now Caps is just going to walk right back, pick up that blue buff courtesy of the Ivern, and just continue to pressure out in the mid lane. Nagne found a roam earlier, but it looks like since then, momentum has slowed for the side of NIP, and Shen now with the level 6 may make it a bit easier, but we'll look at this one more time.
Because bear in mind, both these summoner spells end up getting used, and even though NIP are playing a little bit back, Fnatic is just poised and ready to go in for the play. You can see that he cannot get the grey health because he is stunned underneath his own tower, and Fnatic just playing on the cusp of the tower range means that it's very easy for them to secure that kill.
Solid play overall from the team. The Venom Cask behind the Varus just to make sure that if he wants to back up, he's going to take even more damage. Spraddle, doing his best as a Tahm Kench in that scenario, but there's just too many people present and just so much damage. And CC means you can't even get off the thick skin.
He kept his AD carry alive, which is the true goal of a support. One that I don't fully believe in, which is why I'd much rather you die than me. But
yeah, we can talk about that later. We don't need to regale people with the stories of why you play Annie support every game.
What? My Vel'Koz was great. What are you talking about? And Matt and Drake is on the board, up and available. Given the fact that Fnatic are being pushed underneath the tower, rather than freezing, I should say, the Shen is level 6, so that could be an objective for Fnatic to play around. And again, Shook, he had a good early game. He got the flash off in the middle lane. They set up the dive on top. And I want to keep seeing this pressure. Let's see more plays from him with summoner spells down in the bottom, especially for Jez's only being level 5. Maybe they look to make a play down bot. Prophet, he also has his teleport. NIP, they have options, and now we want to see them try and utilize it.
And we look at the gold numbers on each side and the individual roles. It's a pretty decent lead for Prophet on the top side of the map. You can see that's resulting in some CS in his favor. We look everywhere else, and things are very close in terms of individual gold. Broxa really the only one outscaling the opposition. On the side of Fnatic, however, these little gold leads may not matter too much if they can't turn them into anything else for NIP.
Once again, Hiku has been left on his own as NIP want to get themselves vision control over the river. They will end up losing the Scuttle Crab, along with a lot of their vision too. So NIP still not really in full control of the map as Fnatic continue their pressure. But the thing that we do have to highlight is, as you already said, Prophet, he's got a healthy gold lead, and this is going to benefit NIP as a whole because they're now building up this split pusher in the form of the Jarvan. He's going to be working towards the Black Cleaver alongside a Hydra item, and it's going to get to a point where Soas can't really deal with the amount of pressure that he can put, but can Nagne deal with this?
Backing off, the stun comes in, but there's the cleanse as well. Unraveled Earth. Surprise.
Oh, the submarine!
Oh no, Hiku. Guess what, buddy? Not a whole lot Spraddle can do to save you, but does still manage to get the Devourer down. Now he's stunned up as well. Can he spit him out? Can he take the team in? Kent comes in, hits 3 people. That's a clean combo. Prophet's going in. He's got a decent amount of damage. Spirit Refuge buys a little bit of time. Concussive blows may not be enough, but here comes Broxa. Here comes Daisy, and Prophet bites off a little more than he can chew as Fnatic turn it back.
Fnatic, they look to make the play again down in the bottom lane. Remember, Hiku and Spraddle did not have summoner spells. Fnatic had the Shen ultimate available, and when they saw the opportunity, they went straight for it. They're not going to get themselves the first tower of the game, along with a kill to make it even better.
Works out quite well for Fnatic overall. Expect even more of a bloodbath there, but at the end of the day, it really is only the 1 kill going down. Fnatic once again setting the tempo of this game. Much more in control than our previous match.
And the thing is for NIP is they should have expected this. Good damage coming down onto Caps there from Nagne, gonna force him back. But it's disappointing to see from the side of NIP because this is a telegraph play that so many Shen players can do, especially with a Twitch. And when you have no summoner spells, why not just rotate your bottom lane up to the top side? Your Jarvan is constantly pushing, and even though Spraddle does a good job of getting his AD carry out, you just see the NIP run out of damage because you get a 3-man ulti off with the Varus, you get a 3-man knockup, but Hiku, he can't stay in the fight. The shield has blocked a lot of the damage into 2 versus 4, and NIP are like, aha, we don't do anything else. Talia, he's too late to come down to the bot fight, and it results in a teamfight win in favor of Fnatic.
And that's one of those little situations where you watch the minimap as the replay and you appreciate what is going on in the mid lane, because Caps is actually zoning Nagne off, so he has to play on the top side, so he cannot use the Weaver's Wall to come down. And those are the little things that make the difference in these crucial moments of execution, but you can see now, goal difference between these teams in the last game, very, very close until the 20-minute mark. And we're only at 12 minutes, but already Fnatic are pulling out to a decent lead.
They're taking advantage and utilizing their composition to its fullest. Reckless now, he is in the CS advantage. He's got a healthy stack of gold in his pocket. And even though Shen has been put behind, it does not matter. Because when you're playing Shen, your whole goal is to get 1 or 2 good ults off in the early to mid game to set your team up for success. And that's 1. You only need another 1, and Fnatic are looking good.
Hear that, folks? Solo Q tips. After 2 ults, you can do whatever you want.
Literally, that is true.
As long as the 2 ults
are good,
help your team.
Yeah.
All right. Type that in all chat when you have 2 good ults and feed the rest of the game. Maybe
yeah, because then you, as a Shen, you can just go off to a side lane and just split push. And then if you see someone dying, you ulti, but it's now in their hands. You can wash your hands of the team and say, look, I've given you everything. you can't ask anything more of me. I'm just a humble ninja. And so Reckless is set up for success, Caps is set up for success, Fnatic are in a good position, then I should just keep riding this momentum forward.
This is a decent spot to do so. Brox clears out a bit of vision in the jungle. I feel so bad for Shook. He's always in the right place at the right time to counter jungle, but he's against the one champion you cannot counter jungle.
That's very true. It's very, very, very true. Broxah has made Shook's life a little bit difficult, does have the level advantage, and he's just been posturing around the top side of the map for now, wants to keep his bottom lane duo good and healthy, or he may look to get a collapse onto Nogden.
Oh, so Trigger Seed not going to connect. Flash forward, Root Caller cleanses up, but Daisy's on the way. So is going to chain the CC. One hit, two. Where's the third? The knock up. No blast cone. Not going to get a chance. Cap's going to grab that one.
And there's that second good ulti from Soaz. He's now making his way up to the top lane. And Fnatic, they're looking for a dive.
Reckless, stealthed up, ready. Where's the spray and pray going to go? Snare, looks like it will not connect in the end. Back off, but Soaz is the only one still moving forward. Daisy now set up to tank the tower, but Soaz needs to be careful. Meanwhile, Shook does take the Mountain Drake, and the tower dive, a little bit of fumble there, because NIP are taking the bottom side of the map, and they're going to even up the tower game. Fnatic fail to find the dock.
Hiku and Strato rather do a good job of just sticking to the top side of the tower so that they're still in range. But because Fnatic have no minions to utilize, they cannot confidently go towards the dive because someone is going to be taking a lot of tower damage. And at the initial part of that fight, it was Jez's. But they were able to get themselves the Rift Herald, and NIP they want to try and contest.
Oh. Well, that was awkward. There's the reset. They're not going to get it.
TP.
Fnatic now grouped. That could have been the difference maker in what was otherwise a failed play for Fnatic. But it just continues to be a story of failure here. Rift Herald very happy to be alive.
Yeah, she's good. She's just going to go back to her pit, continue with a cup of tea as NIP. They now actually have push priority in mid lane.
It feels like the first time in the series we've seen Fnatic on the back foot here, but they're the team making the fumbles this time around. Can't afford to reset the aggro on the Rift Herald in that exchange. Now it looks like we may have a little party on the top side of the map. Oh, where'd he go? Top side. But not going to find any engage.
Get more gold onto Prophet. Turn him into the split pusher of your dreams to make things a little bit harder for Soraz to really join the fray and turn the fight in Fnatic's favor. Remember that a large part of the deficit that Fnatic suffered early on was thanks to them not respecting the Galio and him suddenly turning around these fights. And Soaz is looking to try and do the same as the game extends. But NIP, they've equalized the gold thanks to the extra tower that they've been able to pick up.
We've been here before, Vedius. We've seen the even gold at 15 minutes. We've seen it even at 16, but at that point, Fnatic started to just snowball crazy around the 20-minute mark. Now, a lot committed from NIP onto this tower, but Fnatic aren't pushing out anywhere else. So if they want to stop this Rift Herald, they're going to need to make a move quick. Broxah coming up, the rest of the team here as well. Rift Herald will, however, drop for NIP. Prophet going to grab that one. Trap the Rift Herald in the eye, maybe to release it somewhere else. Probably just going to save him. They're just going to back off. But the next siege coming in from NIP will be lethal, and it means once again Fnatic have to give the respect over to the team on the opposite side.
Now, NIP have 4 minutes to utilize this Rift Herald. They have to send Prophet down bot to catch the wave, and they will end up losing this mid tower because so many got forced through an awkward path in their own jungle. Ideally, if you are NIP, ooh, you want to get a kill.
Kick back, looking for the Lee Sin combos. EQ, Blacklist flash over the wall. He's going to get taken down. Shook. That's some solo queue roots right there. Flashy plays coming in from the Lee Sin.
He gets himself a kill, and importantly, he knocks Reckless out of a clear route of escape. Reckless tried to use his invisibility to get out, but it no longer makes you fully invisible. You're still within the eye's reach, ironically, from Lee Sin.
Who can't see anyway.
Who can't see anyway. But this will result in a top tower, and now Prophet, he can keep pushing down the bottom lane, but I'm curious as to where he's going to try and utilize that Rift Herald, because it's going to make sieging onto these tier 2 towers that much easier. So now we just got a recap of exactly how Shook was able to get this kill onto Reckless. he even used his flash to get the follow-up ulti. Bit of a breakdown in communication. I've definitely had that happen before, where my teammate was just like, kick them, and you expect them to kick them where you're standing, but then you try to kick them towards, and everything falls apart. So, it happens.
Fair, but then every once in a while you have those moments where everything works out, you get your odd shot highlight, and life feels forever glorious.
It does. That was not one of those moments. That was an oops, I did it again.
Well, still get the kill. And Reckless has to be feeling like Lee Sin is pretty toxic right now. but things just keep happening. And really, when we look at it, still very even. No major difference between the team. I feel like the biggest difference right now is the Mountain Drake and the pressure that Prophet is putting down. So is doing his best to match it. Does have the Bombies, Cinder, and a Tiamat, so can at least match the wave pressure, even if he doesn't have the kill pressure on the Jarvan.
And this is going to be one of the big factors for NIP moving forward during the regular season, because it's all well and good going even with a team, and it's also even better if you can get an early lead, but then transitioning that into a game win is the hardest part. And a team like Fnatic are extremely resilient. They will not just back down and concede. They are veterans. Even with some of the new players, these guys have gone through.
Rookies,
even the rookies. They've had a split now. They're ready. They're no longer rookies. And so they know what it's like to play under this kind of pressure. And NIP have to be so good in terms of their setup and their ability to properly execute as the game progresses.
And we're in this weird moment, Pyjamas, because the Rift Herald is steadily ticking down.
Yep.
Little more than a minute left on that timer. They have to make a play here. They have to do something with this. It looks like they're just going to opt to summon it bottom lane. But what's the plan here? It looks like split pressure top side and bottom side.
I love this from NIP. Bear in mind that they have the Talia in mid, who's just going to try and wave clear and not die. They've got multiple members up into the top side. I want to see them pushing onto that tower while the Rift Tower knocks on the door of this bottom one. But Prophet, he's too afraid. He doesn't have full vision control around where Fnatic are. And NIP, the setup looked promising, but then they fall short on the execution.
Waves not synced up, timing off from the team, small communication errors, and of course Rift Herald vulnerable to that CC, which means Shen has no problem just hitting the eye, taking her attention off the tower. But decent damage onto the bottom lane tier 2 in favor of NIP.
And they had to use it, right? Because it was going to run out anyway. So I think NIP, that was the best case that they could have got. They didn't want to commit too hard. They're still playing things safe, and they should be able to get themselves their second dragon of the game.
Doesn't look like we're going to have any congestion. Fnatic still playing very much around the top side. Maybe looking to hope to get that Baron vision down, as it will spawn right now. Not looking to take this one down, but will at least be prepared if that's where NIP want to go, and they have to respect it now. Double Mountain Drakes means a surprise Baron is very possible, but tier 1 tower in the sights of Fnatic for now.
Yeah. NIP have just said, you know what, we want to get ourselves a second mountain, and we will exchange it for our top tower. Perhaps they could have sent Prophet to the top side to catch the wave, but regardless, still a fairly even trade, especially given that these outer towers, they're almost always guaranteed to die, especially when the game is this even.
NIP donate the blue buff over, and you're right, Pyjamas. Still very much even, 20-minute mark still going. We're waiting for one of those fights, one of those engages. And Fnatic, as we talked about earlier, only 2 damage threats. You've got the Syndra, you've got Reckless on this Twitch as well. Neither one having crazy items quite yet. We did see a more defensive itemization coming out with the Zanyas, and Reckless still working towards that Runaan's. Or alternatively, the Phantom Dancer, depending on how he feels about the opposition.
And now the Baron becomes the big point of contention too. As you rightly said, the 2-item spike is what Fnatic really want to wait for, because that's when you can best optimize these damage threats. Ooh, nice respect there from Nagne as well. But you can see how much investment in terms of vision control is coming out from Fnatic around the big purple worm, because they know that when that 2-item spike hits, they're good to try and force a fight. They feel confident, especially when NIP, they kind of have this 1-3-1 setup, because you have the Talia wall who can go off into a top side, and you can keep both Spraddle and Hiku in the middle lane. You have Prophet, who's already at this point now where he has the Titanic Hydra and the Black Cleaver. Like NIP, right now, they're already in a favorable position as Prophet is taking it to Soaz.
Looks like okay trades for now, but definitely the long game not going to work out. Cap's now running for his life. Zanyas is up and available. Is he going to use it? Yes. Goes golden, buys a little bit of time. Braum off in the distance, but just has to watch him go down to Shook. NIP find the pick.
So now, NIP, they're utilizing the Talia wall to find themselves a pick. Reckless wants to turn it around.
Looking for a little bit more. Dishing out a decent amount of damage, but the CC comes in quick. Spraddle plays save the day. Jez's flashback to safety. Glacial Fisher to buy a bit of time. Move forward onto Prophet. There comes the Shell. How much shielding? How much damage? Do they have enough? Jez's is still alive. Prophet has to flag and drag to safety, and Spraddle looks like the sacrificial lamb to save this all out. 3 stacks to the concussive blow. Knockup gonna go in. Not gonna be enough. EQ gonna get saved in the end. Nope, says the Catfish, but Soaz wants to keep the ball going. Looking for a little bit more. Knock back. Oh, we wanted communication. We don't know about that, but we sure got some synergy on the play there. Nice pickup from Nagne.
So much peel on both teams. So many shields and heals and everything on the side of Fnatic to keep Reckless alive as he's sitting on the front line, as he's the target focus with NIP. They have the Tahm Kench, they have the amount of utility that Nagne has, they have the kick from Shook as well, and then Prophet coming in from the side. Both teams so good at just keeping their members alive, and at first I didn't think anyone was going to die, but then Soaz, it looked like he was overcommitting. Unfortunately for him, Nagne had the cleanse, and then that was more than enough for NIP to be able to get themselves 2 kills.
Looks like he was overcommitting. Turns out he was overcommitting.
Turns out he was, yeah.
Well, right now, we can't call that a major advantage for either side, but that shows us how close the team fights are.
But it's exciting. This is what we wanted to see from the new teams, right? Like, to be able to at least hold their own, because after Giants and Origin really failed to impress during last split, everyone was worried, like, are these just going to be another Giants and Origin? So far, what we're seeing from NIP is that they're at least trying to make plays.
Here's Reckless looking to get a little bit more. Double teleports coming in. Reckless may have just been looking for the pick, but now they're going to have a bigger fight. Or not, as the TPs do get canceled. Traded back and forth, though. Prophet and Soaz on even ground.
Now, this is a big thing, because remember that Fnatic, they have 4 members in the top half of the map, and there's no way for Prophet to join the fray. So he's going to keep his push going on. He may very well be able to get this tower down if Soaz cannot get there in time.
Soaz is coming to defend. It means it will be the 4v4. No global advantage for either side. Soaz looks to find the taunt. Doesn't connect it, though, and that means Prophet's just going to break it. Tier 2 in favor of NIP. Finally finding themselves a pretty decent gold lead here. And now Prophet roaming to the mid lane, maybe hoping to find a pick onto Caps.
Caps' flash is still down for a few more seconds.
It's available. All right.
Okay, so he's good. He's safe. He also has all the peel of Ivern, who's now at 2 items with the Athenes. That healing is going to be pretty immense. But he's also got himself the Zhonya's, so he's showing a lot of respect towards the all-in power of Prophet. Yeah. Along with the rest of NIP.
And Vinny, it's the question I feel like we always have to talk about when we see a Protect X comp, when you have a Shen, when you have an Ivern, when you have a Braum, is does NIP have the damage to blow up a target?
Yes. Yes, they do. The question is, can they blow up the target before Reckless kills them all? I feel like that's a bigger question right now, because I definitely feel
like if Reckless has the time to kill them all, they're not really blowing it up, are they? They're not really bursting it down.
Yeah, but it might not be Reckless that they need to shut down right at the start of the fight, because sure, he is a big damage threat, but his range is also limited. And when you have long-range carries like Talia and Varus, if he's just hitting onto Prophet, that's not the worst thing in the world, especially when you have Spraddle right there to just drag him out in the event that he gets into any serious trouble. So if you can just zone Reckless out of the fight and make sure that he's not spraying and praying onto every single member of NIP, then they still are in a favorable position. Remember that Caps, he can only really deal a huge amount of damage to a single target.
And pretty easy for Tahm Kench to deny that damage away as well with the Devour.
So I feel like in terms of these fights, they're actually a little bit easier to play for NIP. They just have to show a lot of respect to this shielding. And I think that it's better for them if they don't actually hard engage, and instead they do pseudo engages. So they go in, they try and bait a couple of cooldowns, and they disengage. And then they go back in, and they kind of do this rinse and repeat where they're like in and out, where they don't fully commit to an engagement, because that's where they can really fall prey to this Fnatic composition.
Well, for now, Shook not worried about fighting Fnatic, more worried about fighting that Mountain Drake, and Triple Mountain make it even easier to apply the split pressure here, but multiple members of NIP are coming to back him up, and Pings are now going down to Baron. Fnatic takes this opportunity to clear out the vision. Now they are in control of the Baron pit area, but they haven't gotten any greater advantages yet. Nice sidestep coming in from Spraddle.
Those boots of swiftness coming in handy. Reckless always looking for an opportunity. We haven't seen Reckless off in as many side lanes as we did in the past. It definitely felt like in spring he was putting a lot more of the weight on his own shoulders to try and carry, whereas this time he's much more grouped with his team. Meanwhile, Prophet, he is trying to carry 2 levels up on his opposition, and he is making life difficult for Soaz. And this is the late-game split-pushing power of Jarvan that we so much talked about, and it's even worse when you have a stone plate to add.
Such an obnoxious item to deal with, especially in those team fights as well. You leap in, you do your burst damage, you activate your Hydra, you use every one of your abilities, you push stone plate for 4 seconds, no one can do any damage to you, and then you push all your buttons again. Ah, joy of joys, tanks in the new preseason.
Yep, it really does make these bruises ever so obnoxious. But the question is, how easily will Prophet be able to even get involved in these fights?
Weaver's wall now used. Sprawl coming to the backside, kicking it back. There is the Shen. Ulti may not be enough. Reckless exhausted, so he can't dish out too much damage back, but Broxa has taken down Spraddle. They've lined up for the spray and pray. Fnatic say, hey baby, you want to deliver it, we'll pick it up. Nip. Definitely overstay their welcome. Reckless just going to keep running forward. Jesus is fearless on the pursuit here. Heq desperate to get a kill back, but buddy, I think you might be overextending. Taunted up. Reckless just going to walk it down. Doesn't even need 4 stacks of the concussive blows, and it's one man versus the entirety.
Oh my God,
Rebeled Earth! Oh, gets him in the backside. Not going to be enough, however. That's a shutdown and a beautiful fight from Fnatic.
And this was the worst possible thing that NIP could have done. We talked so much about the full 5-on-5 with Fnatic, the amount of shielding that they have for a single carry. If NIP hard engage onto that, that is the opportunity for Fnatic to turn it around. They could not kill Reckless. NIP tried to make a fight happen without their AD carry, and you think this is great. If we get a pick onto Reckless, joy of joys. We've won ourselves the fight. But here's the shield. You have Braum sitting on front. Prophet can't even get into the fight until Spal is already dead. And look at little Heq in the river. He's not even involved in this fight at all, and it results in NIP not having a glimmer of hope as they now lose the Baron and 5 members of their team.
Just brutal to watch. Vedius, earlier, we asked a couple questions. One, would NIP have the burst damage to take down a target on Fnatic if they so choose? The answer apparently is no. Statement number 2, as we watch the rest of this fight and Nagne's death.
He played very well in that scenario.
Yeah, he did. He did very good. Second question, Vedius, was can they do it before Reckless kills them all? The answer is also no. Things looking quite grim for the side of NIP. Nagne not taking it too hard. I mean, kind of just put his hands behind his head like, all right.
I played that part well.
Yeah, I played that really well. I mean, he can't blame me.
But look at the gold. It's not actually that big of a difference. The bigger issue that NIP are going to have is now how do they fight against Fnatic?
It's not that big of a difference now. It's how much can they get off this Baron buff. And Nagne clearly not interested in giving him much of anything.
They're going.
Feeling a decent amount of damage in the backside. Jarvan leaping forward into the team. Has activated the Gargoyle Stormblade. Do they have the damage to kill Reckless? It looks like the answer is no, but they're still trying to hit him. They're still trying to knock him down. Can they? They got him! Shook takes him down in the end. They are able to knock him out. They're looking for a little bit more, but it's too little too late. They focused everything onto Reckless, and it means that every other member of Fnatic is more than happy to pick up the slack. Nagne running for his life, but Cap says, let me give you a little taste of the skill button and close this one out.
Yes, NIP, you can be happy that you were able to kill Reckless, but the rest of Fnatic said, hey, we're still here. They're able to clean up the rest of the fight. They're able to get themselves an ace, and they're looking to break into the base of NIP.
Now pushing for more, and it's dark times when you go, guys, we got him. We got the 219 Twitch. We took him down. His frozen mallet didn't save him. Yeah, but there's a 7-1 and 3 Sin.
Yeah, there is. And just look, again, this time NIP better execute. They have 5 members there. Caps isn't close enough, and they think that they can kill him quickly, but just look at what Soaz does. The Spirit's Refuge here is what keeps Reckless alive for just such a huge amount of time. He eventually goes down, but then Caps joins the fray. A lot of damage has been done to the front line of NIP, and even though Reckless died, he did his job.
Yeah, I take it back. Caps came in and cleaned this fight up for sure.
Yeah.
Reckless lived for a long time.
He did.
And he nearly killed 3 people, despite them burning everything on him.
But they got it, and that's the point. Rat exterminated.
All right, guys, we lost the first series, but we killed Reckless that one time, and we may just kill Caps. Sonya's up, goes Golden. Still gonna walk out alive. Not enough damage on the side of NIP. Prophet TP's in anyway. Hungry for a bit of blood here. Weaver's Wall, isolating Caps. Redemption Heal does go in. NIP a lot more hesitant to make these plays now. Vedius. Gold lead wasn't that different, and then NIP tried again, and now we see a massive lead in favor of Fnatic. Not so many turrets as we expected from the Baron buff, but those team fights going in their favor is paying off dividends.
I feel at this point NIP have to try and play the 1-3-1, utilize Nagne a little bit more off in a side lane. He can't kill Caps, but he certainly has a lot of wave clear enough to at least apply pressure, and you know that Prophet can win that 1v1 off on the side lane. So it is difficult though, because Reckless is now at a point where he can just roam around, pick and choose, and if you overextend, you can get caught out.
Bye-bye, Prophet. Leaps, flags, drags. No more mobility, does get hooked up by the root collar. There's the Gargoyle Stone Plate. Out comes the Redemption. Spraddle is on the way. Fnatic see the Tom Kench. They say, not going to take that fight. Just want to back out. Not worth wasting the time. Although they do manage to get the flash at a profit.
NIP, they are able to walk away fine and dandy. It will cost a flash, which will make things harder for Profit to be able to dive onto the back line.
And it's interesting because we're at this point, 5K difference, triple Mountain Drake in favor of NIP, but realistically, if they can't take a fight, I don't feel like they can take an objective because they aren't really comfortable splitting up the map anymore. Because yes, the Shen, he can't kill the Jarvan.
Nope.
The Twitch, on the other hand,
certainly can.
Can, in fact, kill the Jarvan. Lots of damage for Reckless. Frozen Mount means nobody's getting away once he starts. Just a little bit of a grim fate here for NIP. To be fair, Caps
can kill anyone that he wants, especially now that he's got the death cap on top of his itemization. He could go for Banshees now to round things out, but Fnatic, they don't have to take many risks. They know they're stronger. They have a very healthy gold lead.
All right.
It's a healthy amount of damage.
Well, we gotta say props to Nagne. Has been playing a mean Taliyah game. Tons of damage being dealt out in a lot of these fights. NIP a little desperate to get that pick in the mid lane. It does mean getting up to tier 2 on the top side, but they may not have had the strength to contest it anyway. Now it is the inhibitor tower in jeopardy, however. The team...
Oh! Nice block there from Jezz to deny the Taliyah ulti. Means that cutoff from NIP will fail. And Fnatic, they can just walk away without any risk.
Walk away, maybe just wait for another wave and rinse and repeat. Broxah is going to back out, however. Baron is 1 minute and 15 seconds away, and this will be the Crucible. We'll see these guys go toe-to-toe where they will fight to the death for sure, because next Baron could just win the game in favor of Fnatic if they're able to take it uncontested.
So things have slowed down slightly. NIP a little bit more hesitant to try and fight these 5v5s. But let's look at the individuals a little bit more. Profit, I feel like he's definitely had a better game 2 than he did game 1. He seems a lot more confident on this Jarvan, especially when you are in this winning matchup. It makes it a little bit easier. But also Nagne, a lot of question marks around him. How will he be able to perform? And in game 1, I feel like his Galio was still very solid. He couldn't really carry the game, but it was still a big contributor to the early success of NIP. And in this game right now, Nagne has been playing that Taliyah very well. Mechanically, the problem is, we haven't seen very much of the walls being able to use on either of the side lanes to really snowball the rest of NIP.
Yeah, found the one roam in the early game, hasn't found much since then, and now admittedly has been willing to use the wall quite aggressively to try to start fights, but of course the one where we thought, oh, this could be a huge moment, Jezz just throws up the Unbreakable. Not interested in building a wall. Nagne definitely forced to pay for it in that exchange. Inhibitor, though, is still alive, and that means that they can pretty safely come to contest this Baron, but they have to respect the vision control laid down by Fnatic. Shook throws a kick over the wall, sees 4 members strong. Shen waiting in the base, ready to TP in at a moment, maybe use the Stand United. And Vegas, I just don't know if there's the damage necessary to take apart this Fnatic composition. We have so much late game scaling with the Ivern, with the Twitch, the Syndra as well. Shook maybe hoping to find a steal here, but has to respect the CC from the Shen. Weaver's wall coming out, but not going to mean a whole lot. Keep your eyes on Shook. The Baron is going lower. It's going lower. Oh! Steal comes in from Nagne. That is disaster for Fnatic. Profit doing his best to buy a little bit of time. The rest of the NIP lineup just going to back it up, not looking to take any other fights. Nagne keeps himself alive. Seismic shove and some unraveled earth, but Jarvan going to drop. Fnatic may have found 2 kills, but not a whole lot else. Blast cone over. Little fancy footwork, little empowered recall. Nagne, you madman! Bye-bye!
Oh, he does it. Well played there by Nagne. Not only stealing the Baron, but also getting away with his life. The question is now, can NIB, can they hold the line? They have the Baron-empowered minions, but there are still 5 members of Fnatic. They are looking to siege into the base, and they want to end this series in a 2-0.
Jezz blocks any damage going onto the creep wave. Out comes Daisy. Reckless left untouched, and still so much shielding, so much healing. It means they are going to break that base open. We're still waiting on respawn timers. 1 second for Shook. He comes up, 17 on Profit. Means the Fnatic are just going to back out for now, but with an inhibitor down, that is advantage to Fnatic despite the steal coming in from NIP.
Ooh. I mean, it's a good steal for NIP, but also it was a very risky decision coming out from Fnatic, leaving that opportunity open. Shook, he tried to get the steal, and now NIP, they're trying to force a fight.
It's Jezz. Unraveled Earth comes over. Now a lot of damage. Profit in the back lines. Waiting to get his sights on Reckless. Double stack, triple stack, concussive blows, does leap forward. Reckless now capped left in the pit. It's the Cataclysm. Reckless now kicked back to the back
He
line.
won't
but
die.
The Unraveled Earth. He
Oh, they
does
got him!
die. They get the kill. They're still strong. They're still going. Gargoyle Stoneplay means Prophet does not care about your damage. Caps all alone. Now they have to worry. Fnatic are in trouble.
But look at this, Caps. He's just trying to buy time because those are 40+ second death timers. EQ.
Good save comes in from Spraddle. Caps now running for his life. You can see the Phantom Dancer ticking down. I mean,
Stop
TQ.
chasing, go and end the game or something, NLP. You've gotten so many kills, you can break into the base. This is a massive opportunity for you.
Goes. Sonic Wave. Styles on him, but guys, you just need to kill him. Just kill him. God, Caps goes down. That's a shutdown for NIP. They fight back. It's now only a 3K gold deficit difference. They have a minute left on their Baron buff, but it is ticking down quite quickly. Maybe NIP can take the momentum.
Okay, they should be able to get at least one tower, but because NIP sent 4 members to go and kill Caps, I don't know if they can get very much else off the back of this.
40 seconds on Caps, though. Delayed his respawn by a ton, so 4 members of Fnatic are going to need to defend. Nagne pushing forward. Reckless not comfortable moving in quite yet.
This is good.
Only one source of damage available on Fnatic. They have to use everything to protect Reckless if they want to win a fight here.
But this is massive for NIP. That one flanking fight. My word, I was not expecting NIP to be able to do that. All off the back of being able to steal that Baron. Prophet and Shook come in, they get the respawn, they go for the flank.
We've talked about the imports, Vedius. We've talked about Prophet. We've talked about Nagne, but Shook has had some very crucial kills.
So let's get a slow-mo as well of how the Baron ends up actually going down, because we have Shook come in. He's going to get a fair amount of damage with the smite as well. Just as the smite Q comes in, then you have the additional bit of burst coming out from Nagne too.
Threaded volley takes it away. Not quite a Janet Tornado, but definitely not where the junglers wanted to be. And then Reckless kills Prophet.
So here we see, again, you'd think, oh, Fnatic, this is fine. They can just keep walking away. The Shen is in base, waiting to come, but then you have this flanking TP from Prophet. You don't even see Reckless. NIP, right. I don't even know if they want to commit to the fight, but then Caps is completely zoned away this time around.
And watch for the damage. Where does the damage come from?
So again, like, look, so Reckless is kicked straight onto the front line. He gets rooted up by the Varus ultimate, but so much damage is coming out from Nagne that even though a lot of the basic attacks are being blocked, it's actually more than enough. And this is a big issue that I have with that. Just send 1 member or 2 at max. Send your AD carry off to go start sieging. As now...
Bye, Nagne.
Adios, mi amigo.
Welcome back to the Fnatic dominance here, folks. It was brief where we saw NIP in control, but Reckless and Soaz making their mark as Justice backs them up here. Now Redemption comes out. They're looking to break open the base. There are still few members here. Have to be careful, though. Soaz has already used the ultimate. That's a little bit of shielding going down. Redemption goes in. Is going to heal him up. Daisy comes out. NIP, only 4 members to defend this tower. Are they going to give Fnatic their respect? Are they going to look for a fight here? Doesn't look like it. Backing off. And that's just going to be a second inhibitor knockdown for Fnatic.
Without Nagne, NIP do not feel confident enough to try and take this fight. There's too much shielding available. Even with Soaz's ult gone, they just don't feel strong enough. Now with 20 seconds left, Fnatic, they want to try and end the game.
1 pick may be enough for Fnatic to take this one. Ult comes out from Caps. It's going to make it way harder for Prophet to get anything done. Just disengaging. Fnatic not sure if they want to commit for a little bit more. Super minions come up on the side of NIP, means they can at least defend for a little bit longer. But this game is being played on a razor's edge. Next team fight will decide it.
And this is the tenacity of Fnatic. Reckless using the submarine strat to bring Soaz in to get the kill down onto Nagne. Even though he uses the cleanse, it is not enough to deal with the sustained burst damage coming out from Reckless. They get themselves a kill and it just opens up the window for Fnatic to walk into the game.
Isn't it just lovely when you're at that point in the late game and you can call Twitch's damage output sustained burst damage?
Yeah, because it's like 800 crit, 800 crit, right? Like...
Every auto attack is like a Syndra ult. Yay! Yeah. Hasn't been enough, unfortunately, to win a few of these fights. Reckless still does go down in 1 or 2 instances, but it's going to be way harder as they move further and further into the game as more items come out. Locket of the Iron Solari. You got the shields coming in from Jesus left and right. Double Redemption. Double Locket, too.
From NIP, they don't have full vision control over their own jungle. EQ, you need to chill out, mate. Okay, so Fnatic just going to back. They're actually showing a lot of respect towards Prophet. No sneaky backdoor from you, my friend. 42 minutes in, though. Yeah. NIP, they're putting up a fantastic fight. They've made this game very exciting.
Interesting, too. 40 seconds to Baron. This time, I don't think we're going to see a steal. But I do think, Vedius, that we will see a fight for this major objective.
I don't even know. Like, do you want to fight Fnatic this late into the game?
I mean, they killed Reckless that one time.
They did, but
I still don't 100% understand how it happened.
because Caps was zoned out of the fight for so long, right? Like, he didn't feel confident enough to just throw his burst down. And again, it's only on a single member, but also in the last fight where it was in the bottom half of this jungle, Reckless could freely get a lot of damage off, but this time round, Reckless was pretty much perma-CC'd. So he didn't have that same level of freedom that he would have had prior.
Nagne now running. Looks like they may be trying to get a pick onto Soaz. Weaver's wall going to come out. Soaz walled off, sort of. He's just going to shadow dash over, but a decent amount of damage coming in from Nagne. Prophet flag drag over. Chain CC is coming in, but Fnatic have taken his time to now start the Baron. NIP need to be ready to contest. TP is up and available for Prophet, so they're just going to break Soaz, or look to, but he's buying as much time as he possibly can. Flag drag forward, auto attack. Prophet finds the kill, but the GA is the only thing that looks like it's procced.
Oh, Jungler's
Soaz
dead.
does not have it. Jungler down means Fnatic can't just look to contest this one.
Look at the base. NIP, they're losing a lot. They still want to try and fight, though?
They're backing out. At the end of the day, they find the kill, but way too eager to get it. Soaz buys enough time for Fnatic to get the objective. Sparrow and Hiku running for their lives. 4 members up, the only one down, a jungler, so maybe they can hold on, but with the Baron buff empowering all for 4 out of 5 members of Fnatic, things look pretty good for them.
And it was a smart decision from Fnatic with 2 members sent down to the bottom lane. They knew that they could just rush that Baron without real contention coming out from the side of NIP. So good reactive play, taking advantage of what could have been a bad situation. And now they are back in control because there's an exposed inhibitor in the top lane. They've already got Syndra pushing down bot. Shen is going to be spawning in 5 seconds with ulti as well. And I feel like the Fnatic, they don't even need to make a fight happen. They don't even need to use induce any element of risk.
Well, let's be honest, the scaling is just so far in favor of Fnatic at this point in the game, but Broxa getting caught may change that. He is rooted up. Shen Shield does a ton of damage from the Unraveled Earth. Broxa is in trouble. Now back up, there's Prophet. Where can he go? Trigger Seed goes in. Oh, Caps on the backside. You forgot it's not just about Reckless. Prophet now goes forward. Sprotle tries to save him. Nagne running for
Here comes Caps.
Oh, bye-bye. Jarvan still gets the knockup, though. Flying Corpse hits Caps in the face. Oh, and he's going to go down. Press R to win. Caps is no problems. Fnatic take the fight.
Beautiful play from Caps coming in from out of nowhere. The secrets of the jungle to deliver a face full of balls. As Fnatic, they're looking to take it out in a 2-0 to close out the series.
Not a pleasant situation for NIP. They showed great progress between Game 1 and Game 2, but simply not enough to beat the Twitch, to beat the Syndra, to beat all these characters backed up by the insanely tanky lineup of Fnatic. NIP doing their best to buy a little time. Shook looking for his montage moment, but he's not going to find it. Nagne holding on, but not even he can keep his life. Fnatic, they come through. It may have taken 45 minutes, but they're enjoying every last second here as they take the 2-0.
That was a fun game. That was very back and forth. A big contrast to what we saw in Game 1. NIP definitely brought the fight to Fnatic this time round. And I think the Fnatic, NIP will feel pretty happy. Fnatic probably a little frustrated with how that game played out, but they still get themselves the win. They still get themselves the 2-0 on the week.
It may have taken 45 minutes in Game 2. Wasn't quite as clean as they liked, but we did see so much more from NIP in terms of playmaking. We wanted to know, what level was Nagne going to come in at? Well, as Talia is something to be respected. So many clutch Unraveled Earths. The consistency on that threaded volley. Of course, small issues on Fnatic to keep that game going that long.
By Caps, 11-5. Beautiful performance from the Fnatic mid.
Isn't it nice when there's a 5-item Twitch and everyone has to burn everything to kill you? And you just get to roll up and fight.
But in that final fight right there, they thought they caught Broxa out, and then I didn't even see Hiku disappear. It was just from over the wall. He was like, I've got it. I've got the kill. If we win this fight, that's it. It's going to be for it. And then Caps was just like, no.
Oh, brutal to play against that Fed Syndra, especially when you can't give her the target priority you want. You see Caps explaining to Coach Dylan exactly how that one worked out. He said, I threw a ball down, and I hit him with another ball, and then he died.
He could not juggle.
All right. Well, now, Fnatic can be happy with their first week. An excellent performance. Of course, temporary coach on stage does not affect them at all. Still able to put out some fantastic performances. and really just a team that we can expect to continue to get better if the last few weeks have been any, or the last week has been any indication, combined with the sudden surge we saw at the end of last season. However, NIP, I feel like putting up a solid performance there in Game 2, and I'm curious to see how these guys will stack up against the rest of the group, especially a team that was suffering yesterday like Rocket.
Exactly. Misfits as well. Like, they're still trying to find their form with the addition of their new jungler, and it seems like the Fnatic, and hopefully with the return of the full G2 lineup, will be sitting atop the group. Those are the expectations. But NIP, they were considered down in the bottom half of the group, especially maybe even down at the relegation material. But based on what we've seen with this team that was just kind of thrown together with all these players, they're performing well, at least initially from what we're seeing.
And I want to see what else they can offer. Game 1, we saw a draft that looked good, didn't feel good when the team played it out. We saw Shook on Lee Sin. That seems like a pick that he can keep going for. Nagne on the Talia. We got Prophet on the Jarvan. But I want to see more. What other champions do these guys have? What other strategies can they bust out here? And when they're not going up against some crazy composition executed by Fnatic, protect the Reckless, protect Caps, how will they play in these team fights where maybe scaling isn't stacked up against them?
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting lineup to keep watching out for, and that can be said for both the new teams, right? Mysterious Monkeys, they skirmish a lot. They didn't show a good understanding of macro, but still, the fact that both our bottom teams seem to be at least players to watch or teams to watch, you then have to be a little bit concerned if you are teams like Rocket and Vitality moving into the next few weeks of play. And Nagne will definitely be one of those players that I keep my eyes out for, because that Talia was very impressive.
Very impressive Talia, but we also have to praise the man opposite of him. Our player of the series was, in fact, Caps. Clutch performances in both games. And so often we set our sights on Reckless, but this time around it was Caps in so many of those team fights. Maybe playing cleanup crew once or twice, but in that last fight especially, all the damage was coming
both
from him.
Game 1 and Game 2, his positioning was always on point. It just seems that as a player, he too has evolved in a very similar way to how Perks did in the past. He's just always looking for opportunities to grow, always finding these fantastic opportunities to impact his team, and he is consistently becoming one of the better, or maybe even one of the best mids here in Europe.
I think best is a little hard. Perks hasn't returned yet.
He's becoming one of,
He
right?
is definitely becoming one of the best mids in this season. But let's not talk about the mid right now. Let's talk about the support, because we're going to send it over to Pyra, who's sitting by with an interview with Jessica.